Right. Germany round 9. The map looks awfully different here. Germany was looking a lot healthier than it is right now. As with the entire Axis. As you can see, the US have conquered the Baltic states. And the German Air Force has disappeared. But let's go over the UK's turn first. Submarine, 2 fighters, 7 infantry, 1 artillery. White the buy for the UK, they are still racking that money in. Yeah, submarine to Sea Zone 35. 2 infantry to India. 5 and 1 to United Kingdom. And then 2 fighters to Sea Zone 7. I guess the idea is to start flying fighters to Russia before I deal with them. But considering how bad the situation is for the Axis, I'm going to have to hit Moscow and pray that I take it, regardless of the odds. So these fighters will not make it. Or these ones for that matter. Yeah, and then the UK put a small stack in Northern. Which tells me that I guess they were aware that the US could hit this effectively. I was wondering why they would do that, to start bleeding units, but that is not the case. Four infantry, 1 destroyer, 1 fighter for the Japanese. Took Kwangtung and then killed the submarine, losing the destroyer in 61. And moved Japan's small stack forward. Left the fighters here, otherwise Russia would have had decent odds on West Russia. Yeah, fighter destroyer to Sea Zone 62, 3 infantry for Manchuria, 1 infantry to Japan. Still being harassed by the United States a little bit. Yeah, it's great that that worked out, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think Sea Zone 61 was still heavily dead zoned, so didn't move forward. The UK can just buy a sub and a bomber a turn just to zone this area off and keep the Dutch East Indies under control. Now for the big one, the United States. Another carrier for 5. Yeah, carrier dropped. I did have a feeling that's how he did it. But it was hidden. This is a very good move by Conradian here. Carrier dropped to get more fighters into the combat of Baltic states. 2 transports, 2 infantry, and one fighter. I guess a fighter to replace the ones that he would have lost. Because this isn't a ordinary result. This is I go back to the attack. I guess I didn't save it. So the attack itself was an 84 for the United States to win. On average, he would have 7 fighters left. But as you can see, he has 4 tanks left and 1 artillery. He got a top 9% result. Yeah, he does not conquer Baltic states on an average result because he has no land left. This is an overwhelmingly crushing win to achieve. Now, I completely forgot about the UK can opening every round with the 4 tanks and all the fighters from the US in range. I forgot about that move. I didn't forget about it for West Russia. I calculated a West Russia 1-2 from the US, but I didn't bother calculating the US attack on Baltic states. Yeah, that was a mistake. That's a pretty bad mistake, and it's pretty much cost any chance of the Axis winning, I think. Yeah, I kind of needed those fighters to get a better chance on Russia. But yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yep, killed 6 fighters, 3 tanks, AA gun, 9 infantry. Only lost 1 fighter. I assume to the AA gun, because there's still land left. So yeah, pretty brutal. Yeah, 4 tanks, 7 fighters from the Baltic states. A blitz from Finland, and all the fighters swarmed around and hit as well. So picked up 6 infantry, 6 artillery. Yeah, I mean, a crushing result, but it was a mistake by me. It was an oversight. I did not see that. So yeah, it looks pretty bad for Germany because they also stacked France. If I can't take it, then the UK just puts an IC down. Considering UK's economy right now, that is horrendous to have to deal with. Which means I'm going to lose Italy as well. So, because I have no way of trading anymore. Two artilleries and 4 infantry for the Russians, and took Caucasus back, losing an infantry. This game is going to find its conclusion very quickly. I mean, if you just look at this now, it's roughly it's almost 70 attack power difference. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, Russia being half power of Germany is quite concerning as well. Yeah, it's quite a crushing mistake along with a crushing result as well. And then, in my infinite wisdom, I muted my microphone for the rest of the recording. So, the rest will be voiced overed, which is super unfortunate, but it is what it is. I guess this is it's the 3rd technical issue of this series, along with this ass beating myself and my teammate have received. Alright, so the attack on Moscow is it's not a very good one. If I had the 6 fighters, it would have been a 90%. But since the fighters are now dead, now at 26 on Moscow, which is a forced move because the game is pretty much over. So we'll see what the dice have to offer here. Alright, so yeah, for the Germans, it'll be 11-2 as the buy. And just an all-in on Moscow. So yeah, I think I remember talking about like if I match the US's outstanding outcome on Baltic with a top 9%, because on average Germany has nothing left or 1 tank left, but a top 9% would mean that Germany would have 10 tanks left, which could give us a chance. Unlikely, but it would be an in. Would kill Russia at the very least, because even with all the UK air power, it wouldn't be enough to weaken 10 tanks to allow the US or the Russians to retake Moscow. There's no real way of easily dealing with all these allied units on Europe here, so I'm just going to have to throw infantry at it and pray. I'm going to need some luck all this round, that's for sure. Yep, the game says it's impossible. Well, it's pretty much true. I'm going to commit 6 and 6 against Karelia and Baltic states and pray that I can just thin them out slightly. That's all I can really hope for. Alright, let's get on with the combats here. All implausible as as to be expected. Yeah, so the air gun missed, so that was pretty nice. But then I just got no rolls. So yeah, not a very good round one. That sort of performance is just definitely going to conquer Moscow, isn't it? It was an okay round 2, but round 1 was so awful. If I look at the average for the Russians, Germany actually got diced here, because on average, Russia has 6 artillery and 2 fighters left. 12 and 1. He got a top 15 result. The US just scored a top 9%, and then Russia just got a top 15. So absolutely crushing. There was absolutely no way. And yeah, just throwing units at Baltic to see what sticks, and just infantry being infantry. I didn't really expect much here, but yeah, it was not Germany's turn. They got absolutely no dice. Yeah, right, well, that is the end of the game. Alright, so yeah, as expected, that is the end of the game. Round 9 forfeit for the ACES here. So yeah, yeah, GG, well played to ACES High here. That was a very enjoyable game. Very interesting dynamic communicating with a teammate. Yeah, it was a lot of fun despite the result. I think as my Germany, I did play pretty well throughout, despite that one mistake. That's literally what cost Germany's chances at ever taking Moscow. I was hyper fixated on the West Russia can opener and just completely forgot that, yeah, the US could, after the UK takes Karelia, the US would then blitz its tanks through. And what an outstanding move from Conradian, from the US here. An IC drop. The turn prior, now I don't know if it was planned, the turn beforehand. It can be done, it can be calculated. It was pretty obvious that I was chaining units to West Russia to try and get odds on Russia here, on Moscow. But yeah, I didn't complain about it. I pointed out that it was late. I thought it was a late purchase. I normally get it around round 3 or 4. But the US with the 2 carriers already existing in 3, and then bought a 3rd carrier to catch all the fighters in Russia. What a move. A carrier drop, allied carrier drop against the Axis. I've not seen that. I've not seen an ally. I've not seen the Allies carrier drop the Axis before. Yeah, an obliterated Baltic. I did calculate Baltic states, and it was like a 23%, but I didn't account for the carrier drop and can open at the same time. So two expert moves, pretty much. Carrier drop and a can opener. Unreal. Seriously well played to him. But despite that mistake, I think I played my Germany overall very well. I was concerned about a med shark, and I made sure that there was no it was heavily discouraged that they went for it. They didn't go for it. At least I kept the Bismarck in the Mediterranean as consolation. That just sat there and did nothing for the entire game. Maybe it would have been worth to move to 13 or 23 at some point to divert the Allied attention. But yeah, I didn't fall through with it. Yeah, stacking France for pretty much the entire game. I forget when I gave it up. I gave it up round 7. That's super late. Yeah. So I held on to France for round 7, which is was pretty crucial for denying the Allies any in on the mainland. The only real territory the Allies could trade was northern. Yes, so I'm pretty impressed with myself. I did retain a lot of German units. I put myself into a position where only Russia could effectively trade against me, which is exactly what I want in a kill Germany. I want to limit the Allies' involvement to just Russia trading against me, which is great because then I can drain Russian units only and not have an attrition of my other units through the US or the UK trades. Yeah, I'll try and keep this short. I don't want to comment too much on it. I think I will note, yeah, very well played from the US for that finishing move, that finishing move on Germany there. Of course, I think the star here was definitely the UK from C. Brown. Outstanding UK play here. Not seen it on this scale before. The cruiser in 30 has a lot more impact than I originally thought. It's kind of vital that Japan takes it out. Otherwise, it could be used as a blocker, right, for 36. So Japan has to commit planes or the battleship and carrier to kill it. So there's a minor mistake. I didn't notice it myself, but I didn't realize how much impact that cruiser could have. And obviously, it's a knock-on effect. So, I mean, we all witnessed it here. Absolute domination from the UK. Pretty much, I think he held DEI for since round 3. And it's round 9, so 6 rounds. Very good value from the UK there. And then the bomber and sub buys, dead zoning when possible, abusing the fact that Germany needed Japanese fighters, so he could abuse that fact and actually take advantage and expand a little with the UK, since the fighters have to go into West Russia to defend my stack. Yeah, very that was a well spotted move actually. Using the Axis plans against Japan, right, to get an expansion and more harassment here. Now with the fleet here, as you can see, the Japanese expansion was nothing. Did not go to Hawaii, did not go to Australia, New Zealand. Of course, lost DEI and did lose Borneo for a turn. Lost all this, so yeah, definitely well played by C. Brown here, and the error here, the miscalculation, that was brutal. It really was. That was pretty much the turning point of the game. It was, I would say, pretty much bang on even. If this mistake was not made, the Axis would have been just fine. I would have been I was in a very good position with Joey just to shut out the Allies for a very long time. And then Japan and Germany would slowly choke Russia in a standard game, but the mistake completely changed the dynamic and swung the pendulum to Allied favour. And as the end result of this, two crucial mistakes here. So, yeah, I don't think I need to comment on anything else. Yeah, extremely high play here. Yeah, and yeah, GG and well played to ACES High. Alright, so to finish this video off, this will be just an overview of the division table. This is what it looks like right now for my division. This is not a finished table. It will be updated eventually because there are still games going on. Like we switch over. Yeah, there's currently, this is what my bracket is with my team, ACES High versus Panzers East. This is our league table here. It's not finished. Still got 2 games going on. You got the Allies team game with Ronok, Raider, General Jippy, and Meaty Bites from my team versus El Capo and Art Mentis. It's still ongoing. And you got my game versus El Capo with me as the Allies. I don't actually know when that game will finish because it doesn't look like it's going to finish at this rate. But from the way it's looking, the Allies game will be a win for Panzers East, so that'll break it 9-9, which means that I have to win my game to win the bracket for my team. So the game could go on and keep going on because it's crucial. The crucial 3 points for both teams. So yeah, no pressure whatsoever at all. So yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next one.